Hey guys, Jake here from Kinetic Mechanics. Today we're going to be continuing on with our segment of resetting the hip. We're going to move on from the half kneeling stretch to a half kneeling chop. So it's basically the same position, we're just going to add a little resistance into it to break up some of the deeper adhesions between the fascia and the muscle in the same muscle structure. So again, we're going to show, the first thing we got to do is go into a half kneeling stance again. So Courtney's going to come facing this direction. Now when we do this, we want the client to have as close to anatomical position as possible. So we want the knee, the hip, and the lumbar spine to be in line, okay? We want the feet about shoulder width apart. Some people will naturally kind of go outside of that for stability to get a wider base of support, and that's fine in the beginning, but we really want to work on that rotary stability, so we want to bring those feet in a little bit more narrower if we can. So again, knee, hip, lumbar, spine. We don't want the client leaning forward, which a lot of people do, especially if they have a desk job and that iliopsoas is really, really tight. We also don't want them leaning too far back on that knee as well. So again, we want as close to neutral as possible. Let's go ahead and rotate towards the camera. So when we start with resistance, we really want to be conservative with this for a lot of reasons we'll go into in the next video. But first what we're going to do is bring your hands out in front. So from here, we're gonna start off with literally just a little bit of resistance. So what I'm gonna tell her to do is basically dig her back toes into the ground, and I want her to push both of her legs into the ground as if she was getting up from a lunge in order to produce the stability in the hip. So we're getting the glutes and the pelvic floor to work together to create stability. And all you need to do is just give her basically a gentle push, a consistent push, and then we can go the other way. Nice and easy. And you can do this for, I would say, I don't know, 2-3 sessions to kind of get the client used to pelvic stability. Obviously doing both sides, repetition and sets that you think are the most appropriate. Moving on, once we have this down, we can then add the chop to it, which is where we're gonna add in the dynamic resistance. So from here, I'm gonna hand her this cable. And again, the cable's anywhere from like 10 to 30 pounds to begin with. But the same idea is that I want her to basically press her feet into the ground, engaging her glutes and core. Once she has this stability, I'm going to have her move only through her thoracic spine, so her head, hips, and knees stay stable, facing forward. Then she's going to allow the cable to actually rotate her back. Again, the thoracic spine has the greatest amount of rotation in any aspect of the spine. We want to encourage this. She's going to drive her feet into the ground, engaging her glutes and pelvic floor again to bring her hands back to neutral. A lot of times what you're going to see is very common is people will tend to lean forward, they'll tend to bring the cable really far forward and bend. We want to discourage that. We basically want a dynamic stability through each part of the spine. Okay? If you have any questions or anything, please leave them below. Thanks.